I'm your host Farah from VoxMeta team. Are we starting? Kıyma. I'm your host Farah from VoxMeta team. I welcome you guys back in another episode of live stream where we will demonstrate our industrial 3D scanner, the H1 Pro. If you're new here, I want to shortly remind you about the specs of our 3D scanner. So first of all, the hardware, we have two industrial grade cameras with minimized noise, and we have aviation connector to RG45 cable for the stable power. Also we have Wi-Fi 6 and Bluetooth for gigabit wireless transmission. So first we have prepared some of the scanning materials for you guys to demonstrate the performance wise of our 3D scanner, and on the process of scanning I will tell you about the specs of our 3D scanner. So let's jump right into it. First we're gonna be calibrating our 3D scanner per usual. We have calibration board here. Also you can check the SN number on the back. So let me adjust the position of our laptop and we can start it. After connecting your 3D scanner, you want to go to a dedicated VoxMeta program where you can create a new project. As you can see right away, our program identified the new 3D scanner. First we're gonna click on to calibrate and conduct the calibration process. It is really simple and easy. You just need to follow the instructions that are shown inside the program. It will take around 30 seconds to complete it, and then you can start creating projects. As you can see, we're almost finished. The calculation is successful, and now we create a new project. By the way, I want to remind you guys about our Kickstarter program that we successfully launched already. So if you want to check, you can head out to our main page and place your order for the best price option. So now let's go and start from scanning. We're going to be using our turntable for assist, and we have this part that we want to scan. You can see it has a lot of complex geometry on the surface and deep holes and these ribs and transition points. So we'll try to capture everything on it using our 3D scanner. So let's start from scanning the markers on it first, and then later we can move on to scanning the object itself. So double click on a play button and you capture everything on it. Long press on play button and double tap on M. And we'll switch to 34 crossline laser mode. That is dedicated for fast and wide coverage scanning. Also we have 17 parallel lines for fine edges and surface texture. Also we have single laser mode for deep holes and narrow slots. So you want to make sure to capture all these hidden spots. If you have any problem with reaching the deep holes, you can always switch the scanning mode. Let's use the parallel mode. Alright, as you can see, the single laser mode is very useful in these scenarios where you need to reach to the deep holes and blind spots, so you can capture everything successfully. So first we scan this side, and then later we can move on to the other side and align them, stitch them together as one complete 3D model. So we finish with this side. Now let's move on to removing the plane on it. I will manually choose the plane so the program can identify the position of the main body. Now we can apply, and now we're left with the pure scan. So we take and scan the other side. We start from scanning the markers first. So you can see how smooth the scanning process is going on. It is because of the 120 FPS frame rates. Alright, now let me switch to parallel modes to make sure we captured everything on it. All right, perfect. Now we're done with this one. Let's clean it up. All right. Now we can try to stitch them automatically. As you can see, with this one has some problems with auto stitching, so we try to stitch them manually. You need to choose 3 common markers on it, and now you can see that we have successfully stitched 2 parts into one complete object. And you just simply apply it, and you can mesh it up and check the final results. And here you have it. You can check the details on the surface, all the deep holes, also backside. You can see how complete the scan is. Now you just need to simply export it out as an STL mesh model and later import it into CAD modeling program for further processing, whether it is research development, precision inspection, or reverse engineering. Look how nice it looks. Now let me save it, this solid scanning result, and go back to a main screen, and we move to another even smaller object. So we have this one, engine, we have this one. It's a small part, but it has a lot of difficult spots on the surface, so we'll try to capture everything using H1 Pro. So let's create a new project, guys. Scan the markers first, per usual. Let me adjust the point spacing down to 25 and shutter to 0 point. Nice. First, we need cross lines for fast capturing. Alright, this size is not a problem because H1 Pro can scan from 5 millimeters up to 5 meters, meaning that you can even scan the whole car frame without worries. Let's use single laser mode. Yep, we want to zoom in for better vision. I'm gonna capture this part from different angles because it contains quite complex spots. They're not easy to capture, but not for H1 Pro. Nice. Let's check the results, and if you have any problems, we can resume scanning by simply double tapping on the play button. Now let's remove the plane. Manually choose 3 dots on the surface or even more. And when the program identifies the object, you just simply invert the selection and then simply clean it up. Let's choose smoother option and check the final outcome. And here you go, guys. Let's check another meshing selection. So we have higher quality. Let's check the difference in higher quality. Also here you go, and let's check the results in closer to reality option. All right, in all options you can see that the results of scanning are very good. Even though it's a small object, we managed to capture all the deep holes and the rings and all the edges. So everything was preserved very clearly. Now we can call it a solid scan, and we can move on to the next object. So now we don't need this turntable, we just simply remove it from here. Now we will try to scan this car bumper. This is a plastic, a little reflective model. So we try to scan it. Let's do it. All right. Let me save this file. Go back to main page. Create new project. Let's put this one to the default settings and scan the markers on it. All right, we're done. Long press on play button, switch to scanning mode, cross lines, the most suitable one for this project. You can see how smooth and how fast the scanning process is going on. Alright, I can see that we're almost finished. Let me make sure to capture it from different angles. And let's check the results. Long press on the play button. Okay, let's choose the associated point spacing, the whole body, and inverted choice, so we can delete all the unnecessary parts, just like this, and then mesh it up. Let's choose higher quality. The meshing process is very rapid due to the fact that we have built-in AI chip that is quite powerful, and it can manage this size of objects in a matter of seconds. And we're almost there, and here you go. So this would be the final result. As you can see, everything was captured precisely and accurately. Now let me switch to solid plus wireframe so you guys can see how accurate is it. So yeah, we're finished with this one. If you have any questions, suggestions, or any remarks, you can leave in the chat. The feedback is really important, guys. So we go back to a main page and create new project for our new object. Let me get some markers so we can apply them. First, let's create a new project. I want to apply some markers on the surface so the program can successfully identify the position of the object that is being scanned, and for stable tracking. And don't forget about our Kickstarter program that we launched. If you want to place order and get our new product, you can head out to our page and you can get the best price option. Alright, I'm finished here. Now let's scan it. We start from markers. Let me demonstrate you the scanned object. So this is a reinforcement beam for car. So we'll try to scan it. Starting from markers. It's losing tracking there, what the fuck? Alright, now long press on play button, double tap on M. You can see how stable the connection is. This is an almost 1 meter long object, and it was about 30 seconds that we needed to scan it fully. Now we can move on to processing it. Let me run it one more time so I make sure I didn't miss any part. And here you have it. Let's try to choose this option. Now we're good. So we manually choose our object. Apply. All right, your choice. Simply delete it, meshing, higher quality, and apply. And check out the final results. As you can see here, we have whole object. So this is quite a nice scan. So let's go back to a main page and create new project for a new scanning object. This one is quite a big object, and it has a lot of difficult geometry. You can see these holes, these rings, these bumps and dents. So we'll try to capture everything on it. So let's do it. Traditionally, we'll start scanning the markers. All right, now we can move on to scanning the object itself. All right, we're almost finished. Long press on the play button. Now let's check out. I can already say that this is a quite solid scan. All right, perfect. Let's apply. Invert the choice, meshing, and higher quality. And here you can check it. You can see how accurate everything was captured, how precise it is. Let me save it and go back to a main page, and we're gonna scan the last object for today, guys. This would be the last object for today. This part is quite big and reflective. We'll try to capture everything on it. So let's do it. Let me adjust the table. Let's create a new project and start scanning the markers. Long press on the play button. switch to laser mode. You can see the tracking is little not stable because we don't have sufficient amount of markers. So you want to make sure to apply as much possible markers as you have. All right. Are we almost done? Okay, let me apply some markers so that our scanner can see the object. All right, we finished here. It's long press and check the final results. And here you have it. Let's delete these parts and come use lasso option to delete this one. Perfect. Now let's go and mesh it up. Meshing is almost done. And here you have it. Here's the final result. You can see the surface texture and the details. Everything was preserved very accurately and nice. So yeah, this is it. Let me save this file. So this was it for today, guys. We demonstrated to you how the H1 Pro can scan starting from such a small minute details up to a larger scale progress, bigger objects. So if you have any questions regarding today's scanning projects, you can ask them in the chat. We'll try our best to answer to you. And if you have any suggestions for our upcoming live streams, you can leave in the chat again. And if you're not subscribed to our channel, please hit the subscribe button and so you don't miss anything. And also you can join our Facebook community where we will constantly update our new projects, so you can join us there. Thank you for attention. See you in the next videos. Guys, today we're visiting our quality inspection lab to demonstrate the measurement of a ball gauge. To ensure absolute precision, this facility is climate controlled, maintaining a constant temperature of approximately 20 degrees Celsius and stable humidity. So let's go check it out. Every ball gauge has its own precision information. In order to get the report, you just need to scan the QR code on the ball gauge, and it will redirect you to the website where you can check the information. And now we can start scanning the ball gauge itself. Alright, we finished scanning. Now let's go to the measure and check out the results. First, we're gonna measure the scan number 3. Alright, create feature. Okay, now number 2. So far the results are pretty nice. Precision is really high, and let's go check the number 1. Yeah, precision is very accurate and stable. It has its own precision information. In order to get the report, you just need to scan the QR code on the ball gauge, and it will redirect you to the website where you can check the information. And now we can start scanning the ball gauge itself.